Pete here with the smallbusinessresourcecenter.com. It's Friday, July 31st, and I was hoping to have good news. If you did see my other videos, Steve Mnuchin, as well as many of the senators, were hopeful that CARES Act 2 would pass today or by today. But basically, the HEALS Act is what was proposed, of course. I hate when they keep changing all these names, but that's what they call it. And there were so many conflicts and problems that, of course, the bad news that I have to tell you is that it's not passing today. So I'm going to go over the details. Thursday night, the Republicans actually proposed to the Democrats one thing only. That would be a 7-day extension for the pandemic unemployment assistance. And of course, that was rejected. And the main reason it was rejected, probably by multiple people, is the fact that many of the states have an unemployment system, and to make a change for 1 week is practically impossible. Um, and if you want my opinion on it, all these states are run so terribly. That's why they can't make changes like this. But in Pennsylvania, if you're from Pennsylvania like me, it took them like 2.5 or 3 months to make a PUA system. And I just can't comprehend why it would take that long, because this is a simple input system to collect information. And, I don't know. I don't want to get into all the details, but it's not rocket science here. But anyways, what they are in favor for is they are both in favor for pandemic and unemployment assistance, but they are going to take away the $600. You're aware of that. So their top proposal right now is $200 a week, and then in October it would switch to 70% of your income. So that could be better for some people and worse for others. Democrats, actually, the reason why they're arguing is they do not want liability protection for businesses. I think this is ridiculous. The Republicans are proposing that because they don't want frivolous lawsuits to business owners and employees of businesses because of the coronavirus. The Democrats are trying to protect citizens, and of course, the Republicans are trying to protect business owners and their employees. Republicans do not want to send huge amounts of money to state governments, and the Democrats are proposing these huge amounts of money primarily because of all the riots that they've had. Of course, Trump said also that he was not for providing them money because they allowed riots. So he told these states and cities, you take care of your own problems. Don't ask us for money, when you allowed people to riot and encouraged it. So, you make your own decisions. I'm just telling you the news. And programs like the rent relief program expired or expiring. Some states do have their own programs in place. If you do need help, I have the rent relief program link in the description of this video. That is a Pennsylvania program, but if you look around, there are many programs like this in other states that are actually pretty much exactly the same because it's a federal program. Some of them have a couple differences. Trump is asking Congress to pass larger stimulus checks and the rental eviction moratorium right away. And the main reason is because it's needed. I know when you're looking at some of the facts online, they're talking astronomical numbers that I can't believe, being a real estate agent, but I think they said like 40 million people are in danger of eviction. That's way too high. I know there's a problem, but it's not 40 million people. That's, ridiculous. So there's a new stimulus check per proposal that just came out of $1,000 per adult for each child and each dependent. It's more than likely not going to go anywhere, but I'm just putting it out there because they already have in place the $1,200 per adult and then $500 per child, like they did in CARES Act 1. More than likely, they're just going to continue that same thing in CARES Act 2. And Republicans are saying they do not want to spend the $3 trillion that are proposed in the HEROES Act. Of course, that was proposed almost 2 months ago. And the Democrats are proposing now an increase from that $3 trillion they originally asked for, while the HEALS Act is at around $2 trillion. And some of the Republicans, of course, before this was proposed said they only want 1 trillion, and that's why there's so much conflict in in the group right now. Okay, Democrats are actually asking for money for the cannabis industry. I'm, of course, pro that, but keep in mind, because I do have the All Organic Medical Marijuana YouTube channel and website, but the Republicans, of course, they're against giving money to the cannabis industry. And not to be devil's advocate, I'm pro cannabis and medical marijuana, of course, but I know in Pennsylvania, medical marijuana, it was actually approved and they did not restrict those businesses. And those businesses, from what I was told, were so busy during the shutdown. So I don't know if they need the money, but Democrats are proposing it. Republicans are also trying to fund the FBI building, and the proposed location is next to Trump Tower, New York. Of course, that has made the Democrats upset and saying the stimulus package should have nothing to do with the FBI building and putting it next to Trump Tower. When you're looking at that, and not to be a devil's advocate either way, but keep in mind, from my understanding, it was the Democrats who asked for $25 million to go to the Kennedy Center. Not really sure if the Kennedy Center needed that in CARES Act 1, or if that could have been money put to good use somewhere else. So Democrats, they're also trying to put protections from China due to election hacking and hacking to get information about vaccines due to the coronavirus. I'm not sure if I'm why we need to protect China. Democrats seem to be upset and point the finger at Russia for election hacking. So why are they putting stuff in the bill to protect China? This seems ridiculous. Of course, the Republicans are completely against that, and that's part of the conflicts that are the reasons why the stimulus package is not passing today, and they have not come to an agreement. The bad news is the Senate actually is leaving early today, and that's why I'm reporting information. Trump is trying to work with the Democrats, by the way, to to smooth everything over and come to terms on a deal. In other news, the CDC actually says that we need to get children back to school. And I know a lot of people might be opposed to this. Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on getting children back to school, whether you're a teacher, parent, or what have you. If you're a child, comment below. Let me know your thoughts. But this is what the CDC says in regards to getting children back to school. They said 7.1 million children receive health benefits and also nutritional support from school. And since they have quarantine, stay-at-home orders, etc., and canceled school, there's an increase of youth drugs, and there's also an increase in child suicide. And that's the primary reason we need to get children back to school. And according to the CDC, that can be done safely. So my thoughts on the economy in America: consumer spending is up 5.6%. Unemployment is 1 million new jobless claims this week. Sadly, I think jobless claims are probably going to go up because a lot of larger businesses are starting to finally feel the effects of everything that have been going on. And then, of course, you got states like Pennsylvania who are also restricting restaurants and stuff, and a lot of businesses. It's only 25% occupancy. And before, they probably were maybe at 40%, 50% occupancy with social distancing type of rules. Now that they're at 25, more people are going to be filing claims. Keep in mind, the government's causing a lot of these problems. It's not the fact that these businesses would not be more sustainable, but if your government restricts things, of course you're going to have more jobless claims. Bigger companies like Boeing will be laying off people. In the IT industry, I've talked to some people who said they're expecting layoffs to come next week also. In southeastern Pennsylvania, a couple companies have made note of that. So when you're looking at a lot of bigger companies who are saying, okay, we're at the position now we have to start laying off, and a company like Boeing who's noticing a slowdown in airlines and travel and saying, well, we're going to lay off people and we don't know when we're going to bring you back, that's definitely going to have an effect on the economy. As far as real estate's concerned, which is my primary occupation, it has never been busier. I have a property. We had 6 offers and a seventh that was supposed to come in. My listing before that, we had multiple offers, and it seems like it's never been busier in Southeast Pennsylvania as far as real estate. I had a client in Philly, and we had a difficult time getting an offer on a property. We finally did, but wherever I go, real estate seems to be busy. So this is Pete with the Small Business Resource Center. Oh, I really think that despite many things in America and the problems, we are stabilized, but that's due to the fact of the stimulus packages. And if they take away the stimulus funding, of course, we're going to have some pretty bad problems. And the bad thing that I have to report is it's the states that are causing more of these problems. If you restrict people from spending money and going to businesses, of course, unemployment's going to go up. Of course, businesses are going to make less money and have financial difficulties. Well, it's common sense. This is not rocket science. Well, it's Pete with the Small Business Resource Center. Comment below. Let me know if you need help with anything. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. And a very important, video that I had is about the $10,000 EIDL grant. Look for that if you can. I'm actually going to put that in the description because it's getting close to passing, and it's going to be retroactive to all the applications. So you'd be able to get the grant, and they're saying they want the approval not to be credit based too. So if you got turned down because of credit, that actually you'll get the grant. So that's the good news. All right. Share this video. Have a good weekend. I'll probably be updating anyways, but have a great weekend anyways.